What is up guys, McLuffy here bringing you another video regarding Street Fighter 5. Now with Street Fighter 6 coming in less than 3 months, I kind of want to make a video regarding some of the things that I'm going to miss about Street Fighter 5. Now I know some people are ready to move on because they don't really like Street Fighter 5, especially how it had a rocky start towards the beginning. But looking back at the timeline, at least for me personally, there's some things that I'm gonna miss about it, and I kind of want to share some of these things with you. Now you guys can disagree or agree with it, or add to the list, or switch some things about the list. But again, I just want to make this video and send it like a final hoorah to the game. Now with that being said, here are my 5 things that I'm gonna miss about Street Fighter 5. Starting off with number 1 being one of the things I will miss about Street Fighter 5 is their music. Now for me, when it comes to video games, music is really important, especially when it comes to fighting games when you know there's a character associated with the theme or even a stage associated with the theme. And that's one of the things that I think Capcom did really well. You know, one of the examples I can think of is like some of the ways they stayed loyal to the themes but also added remixes. So like with Ryu and the Zazaku Castle remix, Cammy and the English Manor remix, and then Guile and the Air Force Base remix that they had. They were really superb, and I was really surprised that they were able to stay close to what we know them as, but also add different things to it, to the point where I enjoyed it even more than the original themes for some of these. And then another thing that they added was like, even when it came to new characters, they had some pretty good themes. Like one of the things that a lot of people can agree that's really popular was Rashid. Like especially to the point whenever Rashid would come on in a tournament, people would be shouting Rashido, and it lets you know that there was some catchy themes as well. Not only that, it's like Capcom did not just stay with one theme. They were able to go with other themes and go into other genres. So you had themes that were kind of like techno, EDM. You had some hip hop and rap, and even at times you had some jazzy music that I was like, whoa, they really kind of touch on different genres compared to that kind of went with the character. And that's one of the things that I was like, whoever worked on the sound design and the sound music, they props to them. They actually did a really good job. And again, that's why I keep saying that music to me was really important. I think it's one of the strongest fortitudes of the Street Fighter 5 genre. And it's one of the strongest things that I can say that I will miss about Street Fighter 5. Except for Jerry's theme. I'm not gonna lie, Capcom, Jerry's theme was kind of trash. The second thing that I'm gonna miss about Street Fighter 5 will have to be the costumes. Now, I know there's a whole meme about Chun-Li having like 20 costumes, and Jerry having so many costumes and other characters not getting the same love. But can we all agree that there was a whole variety of costumes for most of the cast, and I think they were for the most part pretty good. I mean, we had so many crossovers from Mega Man to DMC to Monster Hunter to Ghosts and Goblins, etc, etc. There are like so many crossovers, and there were like so many Easter eggs. Like one of my favorite costumes that I was like, what the heck, was like if you pick Ed and you pick one of the costumes for like, I think it's the Vampire Savior characters, and if you do the secret code, or like the code to change the costume, he turns into like the demon form of it. And I was like, whoa, that's really cool. And there's like so many other characters that have that type with their costumes, so I think it adds a little flavor to it. And also we had some troll costumes. Like there was like one with the Mika with the pom-poms. Like it was hard to see the hitboxes. Blanca with his costumes, and even Dan had like a weird costume that was tournament illegal. And then Jill had like a weird ass costume, and I was like, what the heck, like it's really hard to see. But I like how there was like how we had those options of those type of costumes. But I know there's a few players out there that are sad that they didn't get the same love. I'm looking at you Dawson players, and also Nikali. I'm sorry, maybe in the next game you guys might get more love with the costumes, but sadly Street Fighter 5 had no love for you. Number 3 will have to be the FGC tournaments, and like the whole saga of each player or character that came out within the seasons. I remember in the beginning it was like Infiltration, Tokido, and Fudo were going at it. I mean, at one point Haitani was his Nikali, which is like giving everyone trouble. And then Punk came out. I remember Punk came out, and there was like a whole topic about like there's no way you can whip punish in this game. And then Punk was like, hold my beer, let me show you how it's done. He was like confirming everything, and then he just kind of changed the whole game with the shimmy, hit confirming, and everyone, like he was like a pioneer in changing how the game was played. And then obviously we had the Tokido saga, we had the Gachikun, and then Kawano, and some in between we had some like little story elements to it that, you know, we had some players coming out that was really interesting, and some new blood at some point. And you know, the whole storyline is Daigo wash? Is it the new age here? Is it the old FGC still better than the new FGC? It was like so many storylines that it was really interesting, and I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna really miss that. It was always interesting to tune in to Street Fighter 5 and see what the storyline was gonna be, or like what's the big outcome of the tournament, or where it was headed in a new direction. So hopefully Street Fighter 6 brings something like that. But I mean, Street Fighter 5 had its journey, and I really enjoy the sagas for each year and season. On to number 4. The fourth thing I'm gonna miss about Street Fighter 5 would be just the legendary launch sets. Now what I mean by that is like there were some specific sets, and I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about, like the Komonomichi that Daigo set up. And one of the sets that like still to this point I still remember is like the Daigo versus Tokido, where they went to like a 1st to 10. And at that point I think Tokido was like dominating everyone, and he challenged Daigo to the 1st to 10 set. And then Daigo at that point was like, you know, prep Daigo. He came in and he was like whip punishing everything with the sweep, with Gao's sweep, and even his boom timing was like really different. And he like defeated Tokido to the point where Tokido was like on the verge of tears, and he was crying about saying like, you know, like I still can't reach you. I feel like even though I've accomplished so much, I still can't beat you. I look up to you and I'm still like defeated. And even the other set, I think the other one that I remember is like the Kawano versus Tokido, where Tokido defeated Kawano, and Kawano was just defeated on his chair. I remember Daigo coming up and doing a closing ceremony, and you just see Kawano in the background still slumped in his chair, feel defeated and whatnot. And it just brings so much emotion, because like there's so much feelings and emotion to this game, and it shows. Like you see like the tears, you see like the body language, and it's so powerful. And that's one thing I'm gonna miss about Street Fighter 5, the emotion and power that it brings forward. And you know, you're putting everything on the line, and just to get crushed like that, you feel it as the audience, you feel it too, and you're like, damn. Going into number 5, being the 5th thing I'm gonna miss about Street Fighter 5 will be the characters. Now for this one, just don't think of the tiers, just get that out of your mind and just think of each character individually. And the reason why I'm talking about the characters is like I feel like Capcom really did a good job at experimenting, as well as adding like some flavor to some of the characters. What I mean by that is like if you go in and you look back at like a character like Ed, I remember when he came out and people were looking at the, you know, his command list of the moves, he didn't have any like motion like moves. So there was like no quarter circle fireball, quarter circle, you know, back. It was just like buttons. So you do 2 buttons for a move and then 3 buttons for an EX. And everyone was kind of worried like, oh no, this is like too easy execution, blah blah blah. Character comes out, he's not really top tier, and you know, it was something different. They did that too with Minai, you know, with her orbs, how you hold the buttons with the V trigger and you can do like these long ass combos. That was pretty cool. And you also had G with the different levels, like you had level 2 and level 3 G, and he had like different properties. His fireball got better, his moves got enhanced, and then you also had like Dan taunt cancels into more offense, which was like really cool. But like it's like it requires like a lot of execution, and if you mess up, you're left in this crush counter state. And look at Luke having the charge timing into like getting more enhanced moves, or like getting a different like wall bounce and everything. It's just like some of these characters had like different things that made them different, and it wasn't like they just went for like something basic, which I give props to Capcom. You know, sometimes experimenting can go in the wrong way, but for the most part they were really interesting. Now again, some of these characters like benefited more than others, but again, I'm just talking about the characters individually. I'm not talking about the tier list. And with that concludes the 5 things I'm going to miss about Street Fighter 5. Now let me know what you guys think. Whether do you guys agree with the list? Do you guys disagree? Would you guys, you know, add some things to it? Would you guys take some things out of it? Let me know in the comments below. And I think I'm going to do another video regarding this, but it's going to be like 5 things that I won't miss about Street Fighter 5, which you guys can agree or disagree on that as well. Without further ado, I do appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Deuces.